free yet still sold. Life is so cold. Do what you're told. It's all you have. We're waking up. We're waking up. Sorry if I can't maintain the stare anymore. My eyes grow tired now. I must lay in the ground and go to sleep now forever. Forever.
Okay, you guys, this is like the funniest thing I've ever seen. I made this video called How I Became an Illuminati. Freemason Balanced Chakras, How We Control Your Mind. And it came up with this little ad. Freemasonry. The teachings and practices of the secret fraternal order of free and accepted Masons, the largest worldwide secret society, spread by the advance of the British Empire. Freemasonry remains the most popular British Isles and other countries originated within the empire. Freemasonry evolved from... And then it goes on to explain the whole thing. And I go here, and I went to... It's really weird, because I don't have anything in my... You know, it's not an ad, obviously. I went here, and I said, why am I seeing this? So this is something I've never seen on YouTube. They must have just started doing this. Users may see information from third parties, including Encyclopedia Britannica and Wikipedia, alongside videos on a small number of well-established historical and scientific topics that have often been subject to misinformation online, like the moon landing. And it goes on to explain how, you know, basically they're trying to dispute any type of misinformation by using this little, like, disclaimer thing. What do you guys think about this? I think it's complete bullshit, even though I think it's hilarious, because the video I made was actually a complete joke, obviously. If I were somebody trying to, let's say, spread, you know, conspiracies, and I really believed this stuff, then I would probably be, like, tripping out because they have this little ad now, and, like, you know, how they're saying, oh my god, they're trying to stop my free speech and counteract what I say. So, anyway, that's all I gotta say. Pretty funny shit. Thought I'd share. Talk to y'all later. Find some time for yourself. That would be the message of the day. How's everybody doing? Well, it's about 3 in the afternoon, September 27th, I think, 2018. And I was out doing a few things today by myself. The first time I've really gone to do anything by myself in years, because I have two young kids who need constant supervision, let's just say. And so as my youngest went to kindergarten recently here, I found myself with a little bit of time, and it got me thinking more about personal time. And I was just talking with my wife about this, how, you know, our views change over time, especially regarding family, what's important. Hopefully we understand that family is crucial. Family is one of the most important things, and that those connections and those moments we have with those we love are really priceless, and really what life's all about. But sometimes people push that to such an extent that they really give themselves up to everyone else. And that's when it becomes, I think, personally dangerous to the individual, when they start, I should say when they stop giving themselves the time that they deserve. Now for me as a parent, this is the reason I brought that up, is it's a different circumstance. I have obligations, you know, I had kids, so I have to raise the kids. But when the kids are, let's say, grown and out of school, what are your obligations? I mean, of course, as a parent, as a family, you want to still be part of your child's life. And as a child, you still want to be part of your parent's life, too. So it becomes hard to, you know, reconcile our own desire to do what we want to do with our desire to be there for other ones and care for loved ones. And an example would be, let's say, a story that I heard a while back about, I think my was just talking to my wife about this. I think she's the one who told me about it. It was somebody she knew that who's was getting married and having a kid, and was just out of high school. And all I recall from the story is that her mom said, "Look, basically, I don't want anything to do with your husband or your family or your kids. I just want to go do my own thing." And she took off and traveled the world. And I thought at the time, this was just a few years ago, I thought how harsh it is to do that. And then I started to, come across different, process it, I guess, more. And come across different situations in my life where I'd say, well, I can understand how a mindset can change overnight. If you've spent a lot of time dedicated to other people, then you have every right to wander off and treat yourself to travel, to whatever you desire to do. Maybe you want to live as a hermit in the middle of nowhere with no money in the woods, or maybe you want to live some lavish lifestyle somewhere else. Whatever it may be, you do have that right, and you are obligated to yourself to, if you are able to provide the life that you desire for yourself, and you're sacrificing that life for others unnecessarily, then I feel like we're missing out on our dreams coming true, if you will. And this does not mean that we can't take care of our children. That's an obligation, and that's something we chose to do. Hopefully the relationship between your children and with your parents is at least healthy enough to be able to, have a discussion or to tell people how you feel. It's usually a rocky relationship no matter what, with siblings as well as with parents and children, and couples with each other. It's anytime you live a long time with someone, you develop different viewpoints about what life is, and we change, we alter our viewpoints, and so we start to say, well, I just want some time alone. And it's funny because I thought about the fact that I was more of I thought of myself as an extrovert for the longest time. I loved to go out to concerts and events, festivals, meet people, talk to people. But over the years, I guess I just kind of self-diagnosed myself that way, not realizing all the times when I like to withdraw, out at those events, sit in my own tent, have some time to myself to recharge. And an introverted personality tends to need that time to recharge. And it's not for selfish reasons, it's for necessity. It's like refueling, recharging your body, your psyche. If I have too much noise in my life, I go a little bit crazy sometimes, and then I suppress it and bottle it up. And my life is usually that way. I've got the 2 young kids, who are always bickering and screaming, and you just get used to that. Of course, we don't let them just fight, but what I mean is that kids are kids. Even if they're not screaming at each other in a violent way, they're screaming at each other in a happy way, and kids just make noise, and that's what they do. And, I don't mind it. I like the sound of kids in the house, but, after a while, it wears on you. It's just like having loud music in the background, or always having your TV on. My oldest son, he plays guitar. He's a great guitarist, but he turns it up loud. So I end up with kind of sound coming from every angle and standing in my own living room, unable to even just sit down and listen to a song because there's so much noise. And I think, okay, that's what I do. I'm a parent, and at the same time realize when it's time to have time alone, that's okay too. And I think a lot of folks don't give themselves that time alone to recharge, but also a lot of people spend too much time alone, and that recharging turns into almost a charging up of certain attitudes. In other words, I think this is the trap a lot of people get into when they go stir crazy by sitting, being trapped behind their computer for too long, developing this inner idea of how the world is, and meanwhile not discussing this with other people out in society to say, okay, well, maybe it's not as, it's not what I thought it was, or maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. So my point there is isolation can breed even more insanity, but no self-time or no isolation can breed insanity as well. So for me personally, having a little bit of time alone is crucial for a recharge. So that's all I got on that. I just thought I'd share, and hope you all are doing well, and thanks for watching and all that stuff. Info's in the description. Leave a comment. Have a wonderful day.